Good morning, and I have my phone turned off, and I've done a little homework for today, so hopefully this will go better than last week, and hopefully some of you have decided to come back and join me again. As I mentioned, I'm trying to do these every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which most of you are probably still in bed, but you can always enjoy it later. So here we go. This week I have, last week I guess, I don't know. I received this Dina Wakley Media Journal, I guess it was a little bit before that, and also the Dina Wakley Media Collage Collective. And so I'm trying to goof around in these a little bit and give them a try and just see what I think of them. So I did some homework. Like I said, I did some homework to prepare for today. And one of the things I did was just create a little bit of a background over here. And I'm going to stick these back on. These are just some contact paper. I was actually reusing what I had used before. I tried to reuse what I used before and it didn't work. So, well, one of them worked, but the other two didn't. So I have another couple that I'm going to put back on here. And at that same time, I want to kind of get a feel for the colors that are already in here because this is high contrast. I don't want the other two to be high contrast. I want them to be almost kind of a background thing. Let's see, all right, I got that. So we'll put those on there and that'll be fun. It's always exciting to like unveil that part at the end. And this is going off the edge a little bit and that's okay. I'm an off the edge kind of gal. So there we go. And what I decided to illustrate today is I read a devotional yesterday on just getting the rocks and the logs out of our eyes and our lives so that the ground can be prepared and the soil can be suitable to receive rain when the Lord sends rain down. So that in my little abstract way, that's what I'm trying to illustrate a little bit here. And I'm going to put just a couple of lines on. I think my design side of me wants to have just a little bit more of a horizontal too, and maybe I guess I could have put them on this horizontal, but that's way too in the middle for me. So it's kind of what feels good to me, and I do have a class on design, I have to say, but I'm really trying to do Dina's products today, not mine. So there you go. If you want to look that up. This is a Media Collage Collective, 60 double-sided printed pages and there's 30 sheets that are thinner and 30 sheets that are thicker. And I actually cut apart one of the I don't know if it's the very first page, but one of the first pages. And you'll quickly notice that indeed there are some thinner ones and there are some thicker ones. And I decided to start out with the thinner ones because I'm not crazy about like little stepping things in that's what I feel like they are when I'm collaging something on my page. So I'm trusting that these will blend in just a little bit more. And should we get up a little bit closer? We can here. And I'll scoot a little bit more in the middle because obviously we're just working on this page. Who knows what'll go on this page? It'll be another day. And you know what? I don't need this anymore, so I'm going to get rid of this too. All right, so one of the things I want to do is just create a little bit of difference in where I put that contact paper. So I'm just going to take a little white paint and add it down in that corner. I do feel like there isn't quite, like I've really covered up the white in this piece. So I'm going to bring a little bit of it back. And we can even just blend that one in just a little bit there so that it isn't quite such a stark contrast. And that's just a little, I I'm going to add a little white up there too, although I like some of that gray coming through, so I don't want to lose all of that. And maybe that same thing down here, just not using all of it. I should mention I just sewed this page, so that I'm not quite so worried about things lifting up, about the page itself lifting up. And I cut a whole bunch of these. I've been really into this stark white and black being part of of my work lately, and so I've obviously sliced some pages with the intent of this collage, and that's going to fall off, so we'll just put that down there. And I do, one of the nice things about collage is that you can put stuff on before you commit. It's always kind of fun, isn't it? And when I was thinking about this earlier too, I kind of like a little bit of that orange showing through. And I'm going to move this over here just to lend a little bit of variety. I liked how some of that black was in there. This is one side of the paper and this is the other side actually. I wanted blue to feel like showers and rain. All right, let's turn this one this way. 5 is number for grace, so I like using that number. 7 is number of completion, so that's a great number to use. And our arch. And I'm not sure I'm going to put this piece down here because I kind of like that little bit of red from the background coming through. So let's glue these babies on. For those of you who've watched any of my classes, gluing is an issue for me. So let me get just a piece of, I hate using pieces of scratch paper because I always have something in mind that I can do with them, but I don't want glue all over the place either. So I'm going to start with that one because I kind of like where everything is ending up. If I start here, so just using this Oohoo glue, you could sure use matte medium too. I've been doing a little bit of that lately. And I think I had thought about turning this one, but I'm not going to. And I'm trying to get it relatively straight, not totally important, but it does help my little graphic design sense to do that. Not going to worry about the edges. I can trim those off later, but I did decide, as I was thinking about this earlier, that I want this one to go off the edge a little bit. This might be like playing telephone and seeing how much they really end up where they're supposed to and be straight by the end. You know how that goes? Everything changes as you move on. I'm deciding it's a better thing to glue over here because that glue is useful on the other side. Now, one of the things that concerns me a little bit is I'm getting, if it's too straight, then it's going to, if I get one just a little bit crooked, like I'm doing here, it's going to look crooked. So I'm going to just scoot them over a little bit so that they're not quite as even. I definitely going to move this line up a little bit. This line is the one I'm talking about, so it's not exactly even with that. That's probably a little bit too close. There we go. And you know what else really helps? Is just something or a credit card or something, room key. That way you don't get all of this on your hands, which I've already managed to do. So there you go. Clearly I failed gluing in kindergarten. That looks nice with just 4 too, doesn't it? It leaves a little bit more of that orange showing, so let's think about this. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try cutting this down a little bit. Now that it's all full of glue and etc., etc. I cheated and used my paper cutter on the rest, in case you were wondering. All right, so let's see, do I like, that one's almost too thin. So let's, yeah, I kind of like that variation. Yep, I like that. And I'm just wiping the glue off of my hands, and I like that. I like how that looks. Actually, I really like the orange down there. And let's see how these turned out over here. Oh, aren't those gorgeous? It's an idea from Jane Davis. I'm sure other people do it too. Just going to smear that a little bit. Look at me throwing those away so that I don't reuse them. Now here's a little bit of thinking. Do I want to put a black squiggle on it? And I really like it just the way it is, so I may just leave it just the way it is. I think I may actually pull a little bit of the color through. So I know I should use a brush, sorry. I can't help it. Notice it's kind of a transparent paint, so it doesn't show up on there very well. And I think what I might do is, no, I'm not going to use my Stabilo. Do I want to put some lines in here? I might. If I put a little bit of a line here, it'll just tie, just ever so slightly, I'll just tie that line into there. And I'm going to put another one down here. They're water soluble. And sometimes you can get them to be just a little darker and richer if you wet the paper a little bit. These are scribble sticks, which are water soluble. And then you know what? I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to put some splatters on, because everything needs splatters. So I'm wetting my scribble stick. Put a little bit of that on, a little gray, I think. And I think I'll have to add just some orange too. So what I do is I just dip this in water. I'm sure you've seen me do it before. That is not very dark. See if that's better. All right. And we're going to call it a day. There it is. It's my showers. Ta-da! Kind of like it. I like the warms and the cool colors. Yeah, I like that. All right, toodles. God bless and see you soon.